Having concluded a deep dive into the latest legislation impacting regulation of clinical decision support software, it is worthwhile to introduce some of the relevant 2017 regulatory science priorities by the CDRH, which will shed some light into what to expect in the future. First of all, what is regulatory science? Regulatory science is science in the service of regulation, the needs of which are assessed by the Regulatory Science Subcommittee of the Center Science Council within the Center for Devices and Radiological Health at the FDA. It is quite a recent focus at the FDA. The agency launched its Advancing Regulatory Science initiative in 2010, building on the achievements of existing agency programs like the Critical Path Initiative. In 2011, FDA developed a strategic plan for regulatory science that identified plans to close critical gaps in scientific knowledge required to support regulatory decision-making. In 2015, CDRH further published its first set of regulatory science priorities. The thinking is that, collaboratively with external stakeholders, research investments in these areas of science serve as a catalyst for the generation of new tools, standards, and methodologies to study the safety, effectiveness, quality, and performance of medical devices, so that FDA can better fulfill its mission. It was clear since the very beginning of CDRH Advancing Regulatory Science initiative that digital health, including health data, analytics, and mobile health, were some of the key areas of focus for the agency. The first set of regulatory science priorities, released in October 2015 for the fiscal year 2016, included 10 priorities, of which 5 in this industry sector, and specifically to leverage big data for regulatory decision-making, to leverage evidence from clinical experience across multiple domains in regulatory decision-making, to enhance performance of digital health and medical device cybersecurity, and to advance the use of patient-reported outcome measures in regulatory decision-making. And finally, to collect and use patient experience and preference in regulatory decision-making. These have changed very little from 2016 to 2017. The keyword real world was added to evidence from clinical experience. And this is both a response to an important change catalyst for one of digital and mobile health key trends. More on this to come. Also, patient-reported outcome measures and patient preferences were combined as patient input, potentially broadening its meaning even further beyond these two types. Currently, most regulatory decisions are based on information provided by manufacturers, while data from traditional clinical trials is mostly limited to higher-risk devices. A vast amount of observational data on device use and performance can be found in healthcare, for example, electronic health records and claims, in registries, device, procedurals, and disease, and in clinical trials, however large and simple. Databases as well, and peer-reviewed publications are sources of other data outside of traditional clinical trials. This data is today underutilized in the review and evaluation of medical devices. Leveraging real-world evidence can supplement traditional clinical data and inform regulatory decision-making. Employing evidence synthesis from across multiple domains, says CDRH, can accelerate the medical device pathway to market and improve the detection of potential problems. To enable the use of observational data sources in the regulation of medical devices, however, significant investment in data analytics and infrastructure is needed. And even though we're seeing many new developments in industry, they will likely take years to develop. these efforts shouldn't make anyone think that clinical trials are going away anytime soon, of course. On the contrary, improvements are at the horizon. Medical device clinical trials are faced today with unique challenges. Difficulty recruiting sufficient numbers of patients because of low disease prevalence, high rate of failure due to false hypotheses or endpoints that do not capture all failure modes, and so on and so forth. To address these challenges, CDRH advocates for improved statistical methods, as well as new clinical trial design tools. Advancements in the digital health and mobile health industry in particular are important not only because they are contributing new health technologies and medical devices. They are in fact reshaping the very same way these and more devices are demonstrating their safety and effectiveness through data. As if CDRH regulatory science priorities were not enough to underscore the importance of this topic for regulators, a draft guidance was published for industry in July 2016, titled Use of Real-World Evidence to Support Regulatory Decision-Making. This guidance outlines context where real-world data can be used, describes the requirement for acceptable data sources, and includes some examples of good use cases for real-world evidence. It also provides a working definition of real-world data as data collected from sources outside of traditional clinical trials, which may include pragmatic clinical trials, prospective observational or registry studies, retrospective database suites, case reports, administrative and healthcare claims, electronic health records, data obtained as part of a public health investigation, or routine public health surveillance and registries. As to where the data is coming from, CDRH states it will be typically derived from electronic systems used in healthcare delivery, data contained within medical devices, and or in tracking patient experience during care, including in home use settings. The latter category is especially interesting in that it is yet a very active and dynamic cluster of innovation for the mobile health industry. Relevant to this category are wearables, sensors, and products for lifestyle management and monitoring. Since we have talked uniquely about software for a while, let's look at a few of these companies. It will be a good reminder that mobile health is a lot more than just apps. Sano, for example, is building a small wearable sensor that can capture and transmit blood chemistry data continuously to virtually any device. The company was founded in 2011 and is based in San Francisco, California. The device looks like a nicotine patch with a circular piece of metal in the center containing the Bluetooth receiver and battery. It looks and feels like sandpaper or Velcro when a user puts it on the skin. In contact with the skin and responsible for this sensation are minimal invasive microstructures that sense interstitial fluid. According to the company's CEO, as presented at a conference in San Francisco in January 2017, its biometric sensor patch and adjunct mobile app together enable several applications, including potentially continuous glucose sensing. The device has yet to be launched, and the company plans it will be initially aimed direct to consumers with general wellness and diet applications. At the time of this recording, I'm not aware of any clearance or approval to market by the FDA for the Sano device. Circadia has developed the IT Bra, consisting of two wearable smart breast patches which detect circadian temperature changes within breast tissue. The wearable technology embedded in the IT Bra, combined with the smartphone-enabled interface, allow anonymized data to be communicated directly to the core lab for analysis. Here, the Circadia Health software solution employs machine learning predictive analytics with the intent to identify and categorize abnormal patterns in otherwise healthy breast tissue. Please note that also this product, like the Sanu patch, has not yet been released at the time of this recording. And according to the company's website, Circadia is in the process of filing for a 510(k) Class II FDA clearance in the United States and hope to become available by the end of 2017. This is Santa Clara, California-based VivaLink, the manufacturer of Fever Scout. Fever Scout is an FDA-cleared, smartphone-connected wearable thermometer patch for children. It's a soft, peel-and-stick patch designed to be worn under an infant or child's arm. It continuously monitors temperature and sends results via Bluetooth to a parent's smartphone. The patch, which is reusable and works with replacement adhesives, has a range of over 100 feet and a rechargeable battery that can be used for a week straight before needing to be charged. As another example, here is Lucina Health, a company headquartered in Kentucky that is on a mission to help reduce preterm births with deep obstetrics analytics. According to the company's website, by aggregating data from multiple sources and using machine learning to understand drivers of adverse outcomes in the local population, the Lucina platform will be able to uncover potential risks and complications to understand outcomes and cost, both for patients and the community at large. Connecting with the platform, My Lucina is a mom-facing mobile app delivering personalized outreach and education for each patient. Since we are in the pediatric arena, last let's take a look at NIH-funded AI Cure, which is developing software leveraging artificial intelligence to visually confirm medication ingestion in order to optimize patient behavior and medication adherence. The AI platform AI Cure uses software algorithms on smartphones to confirm patient identity, the medication, and if the medication was taken. Patients receive automated reminders and dosing instructions as well. Healthcare workers, in the meantime, receive real-time data which allows for early detection of patients who are not taking their meds as scheduled. The company was founded in 2010 in New York and has clinical research, clinical evidence, and population health as its key areas of focus. As of April 2017, a 12-week study had been published by the American Heart Association showing that stroke patients are more likely to take anti-blood clot medication when they use the platform on their smartphone to remind them to take their meds. And more studies were published in the recent past.